like it. The media covered it very fairly, and even the fake news, of which we have a lot, they actually covered it fairly for a change. And I appreciated that. We have to get back to that. It's so important. But I just want to say,
They said it quietly, but we all heard it. A Democratic candidate for Attorney General, the top law enforcement official in Virginia, caught sending text messages fantasizing about murdering a Republican lawmaker and his children. And what happened next? Silence. From the very party that claims to stand for justice, decency, and compassion. Silence, and in some corners, defense. Jay Jones, once a rising Democratic star, is now at the center of a political firestorm that cuts to the heart of who we are as a country. In private messages, he allegedly joked about shooting former Virginia House Speaker Todd Gilbert, invoking the names of genocidal monsters like Pol Pot and Hitler as if they were punchlines. Think about that. The man who wants to be the top cop of Virginia was fantasizing about political assassination. And yet, the Democratic establishment refuses to speak out. Chuck Schumer, quiet. The DNC, nowhere to be found. President Biden, silent. These are the same people who demand outrage every time a college kid says something stupid in a group chat. But when the violent rhetoric comes from one of their own, crickets. But here's where it gets even darker. While Jones prepares to debate the Republican incumbent, Attorney General Jason Miyares, at the University of Richmond vice president, JD Vance and Donald Trump are turning this story into a rallying cry. And not without reason. Vance said it bluntly. This is far worse than anything said in a college group chat. He's right. Because this isn't a joke from the fringe. This is a candidate for public office seeking power. The kind of power that decides justice. The kind of power that decides who gets prosecuted and who gets protected. So let's ask the question no one on cable news seems to want to touch. What does it say about a party that tolerates, excuses, or even ignores calls for political violence when it suits them? What does it say when leaders who preach unity refuse to condemn their own? And it's not just about words. It's about hypocrisy and moral rot. Democrats have spent years warning America about the dangers of right-wing extremism, about the threats to democracy from Trump supporters. But when one of their candidates openly jokes about killing Republicans and their kids, suddenly it's complicated. Suddenly, we need more context. Give me a break. Let's be clear. If the political parties were reversed, this story would dominate every headline, every network, every Chiron on CNN and MSNBC. They'd be calling for resignations, investigations, and federal intervention. But because Jay Jones has a D next to his name, he gets a pass. That's not just hypocrisy. That's moral bankruptcy. Trump, speaking at a memorial for conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was allegedly murdered by a left-wing extremist, called it what it is. Political violence from the left must stop. His words hit like a hammer because they're true. When a man can publicly joke about executing his opponents and still keep his candidacy, we've crossed a line. This isn't democracy. This is decay. And the timing makes it all the more grotesque. In the shadow of an assassination, as families mourn and America grapples with hate-fueled violence, a Democratic candidate is caught glorifying bloodshed, and his allies shrug. Trump was visibly stunned. Pretty amazing, he said. That's a bad one. Let's see how that turns out. Because even for Trump, who's seen his share of political ugliness, this was beyond belief. But let's look closer. The leaked group chat that sparked this scandal didn't just expose Jones. It exposed a culture of rot within the activist class. It revealed how far our political discourse has fallen, where cruelty becomes currency and hate is just another meme. Meanwhile, Democrats demand Republicans denounce some college kids in New York who said racist things online, which, to be clear, is disgusting, but refuse to clean up their own house. JD Vance said it best. I refuse to join the pearl clutching when powerful people call for political violence. That's not deflection. That's a challenge. If we're serious about stopping hate, it can't be selective. It can't be condemn the other side while protecting your own. Because that's not justice. That's politics as poison. This isn't about party. It's about principle. It's about whether America still draws the line between passionate disagreement and dangerous extremism. Because when political violence becomes normalized, when silence becomes complicity, the whole system begins to rot. And make no mistake, the rot doesn't stop in Virginia. It spreads. So the question now isn't just whether Jay Jones will drop out. The question is whether Democrats will finally stand up for their own supposed values, or expose that they never truly meant them in the first place. Because if a party can't denounce the fantasy of murdering children, It's lost the moral right to lecture anyone about decency. Here's the truth. America is watching, and the people are done being gaslit. We're done with the double standards. We're done pretending that violence is okay when it's our side doing it. You don't defend democracy by excusing death threats. You don't fight hate by ignoring it. This is a moment of choice. Do we stand for accountability? For every candidate, every party, every ideology? Or do we let power excuse cruelty as long as it benefits us? Because if democracy means anything, it means drawing the line consistently. It means saying, enough, no matter who's responsible. So yes, we call it out. We shine a light. We demand better. Because truth still matters. Morality still matters. And violence from any side is a line that must never be crossed. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and remember, we don't back down. Not now, not ever.